Today what we're going to do is we're going to dive into our next season of the show. We're not a news show, so why do we need to sit at a news desk? So we're going to be out in different cities all across the country exploring what makes this such a great place. We're going to be exploring the lifestyles, having power interviews, and just bringing a lot of great content so that people can really get something of substance from our media. To me, that's really what the American Dream is all about. The American Dream is coming at you with a whole new season and a whole new look. Let's get the show started right now.
We do it in the spirit of going against the grain of the negative media, giving inspiring information, and having people walk away from our show with something of value.
You're seeing a disruption in both the real estate and the mortgage space.
A lot of people are just not willing to put in the work.
What video does is that it demands an emotional response.
You know what I love about this show? It's totally unscripted. So you've heard my passion around the message of the American Dream, but how do you bring it to life? Well, what I did is I found the best producer with a background in real estate and lifestyle, Seth O'Byrne, to bring us the American Dream in a whole new way. Tell us what you're bringing now.
I'm hopefully bringing passion. You know, this is something we're really excited about. In America, the American Dream is not designed by your position in life, your wealth, where you're at currently. American Dream is something that someone can have when they're 8 or 80. It's starting at one point and deciding that you want something better for yourself. And so as much as the American Dream has combated negative media, we're gonna switch gears and now we're gonna talk about positive, inspiring stories. Stories that have compassion and love in them, and stories that have something that I think we can all relate to. And that's the hope for the show, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we're not a news show, so why sit at a news desk? So we're out here today at a multi-million-dollar pad with a winery on the West Coast. The show is spanning all across the country. Today, you're gonna see a power interview from Grant Cardone. Did this in studio early this week. This guy illustrates the American Dream. 10,000 people at his event in Vegas. This guy's absolutely crushing it. We're also gonna showcase the lifestyle of a winery and a multi-million-dollar pad. And then we're gonna get into some local market elements where we're showing things that are happening in your own backyard. Well, let's get it started. We're gonna go check out that interview with Grant Cardone in studio. Let's go check it out. All right, for today's Power Player interview, there's nobody that better illustrates the American Dream than this guy, Grant Cardone, coming to us out of Miami. Good to see you, Grant. How are you, man?
Always good to see you, my friend. You bring me so much energy in my life. You remind me that a dream has to keep going and growing.
Yeah, well, we're growing to Miami soon, so what makes this show unique is we go city to city, and each city has its own little ecosystem, so we're coming to your town here soon enough, so we're going to be out in the field doing some stuff with you. Excited to launch there.
I can't wait to see you.
So let's talk about that thing called the American Dream. You've had quite the journey yourself. Right to your left there, you can see your new book, Investing in Real Estate. Tell us real quick about your journey for those who are tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, look, I mean, I grew up like probably 99% of the people watching this is like lower middle class family. My dad worked hard. My mom took care of the family, 5 kids. And my dad died at a very young age for me. He was 52, I was 10 years old. And that left a big vacuum in the family. But my dad left me with a lot of things, you know, like the individual can die, but the things he leaves behind stays with the people around him. And he taught me work ethic. He taught me that I could have anything I wanted. He loved real estate. He was actually a stockbroker, but on the weekends he would shop real estate, which was fascinating to me because I'm like, why aren't you shopping? I mean, if you love stocks and that's what you do, why aren't you shopping stocks? But he shopped real estate because I think that that's organically something everybody understands is a good thing. And so for the past 30 years, starting in San Diego, by the way, I started buying real estate. And it's, of my 7 businesses, that's the one that will take care of me and my great-great-great-grandchildren. My great-great-great-grandchildren that have not been born yet, Craig, will probably be wealthy.
Yeah, well, the stockbrokers out there, we got to remind them that there's no stock that you can live in, and there's no stock that you can use other people's money to buy it with, like you can with real estate. So it's a great opportunity. What do you think about the real estate market now? I mean, we're spread across the country. In every city, we align the power players of real estate. We've trademarked that term, the best in every city. What do you think about the real estate market right now?
Well, let me just say this. Bank of America, okay, or Wells Fargo, right? They will lend you money to buy real estate, and they won't lend you money to buy their own stock.
Right.
So that should say it all right there. Go to Bank of America and say, I'd like to buy $1 million worth of Bank of America stock, and I want you to lend me money. And they'll be like, sir, please get up out of the chair, okay?
Yeah.
But we'll lend you money on real estate. So look, if you're trying to make money in real estate over the next 3 weeks or 3 months, or, you know, I think you're looking at it wrong. But the way we invest in it is for long periods of time. We buy multifamily income producing properties. I mean, what we do over here is not, we don't do single family homes because we want income. I want passive flows of income that Warren Buffett talked about. If you don't earn passive flows of income, you'll die trying to earn one income. So we're buying rental properties in markets like Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, anything in the southwest or southeast. San Diego, I think, is a great market. I just can't come there because you guys got too many other issues.
Real quick, Grant, so tell me about the book that you wrote, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate.
Yeah, this is my 8th book, Craig. This is by the way, this is a self-published book, okay? I have published books, but this is a self-published book with the biggest release by almost 8 times of any book that I've ever brought to market. So we shipped, I think, 38,000 copies in 21 days.
Wow.
And it's not in a bookstore. Those are massive numbers for a book this doesn't have a release. So it's about how people can get involved in the apartment game.
Well, you've done a lot with the entrepreneurial spirit. You're doing events. You do a lot on social media. If anyone visits you online, you have a lot of products you develop. But I know that your wheelhouse is this real estate game, which is a big message of the show. I hope that our audience will reach out to you, get your book, and definitely follow you on Instagram. You are one of my favorite guys to follow just because the energy you bring, you got your own show on there.
Anything could happen on Instagram, that's for sure.
Yeah, your wife throws you head kicks, or actually it was rib kicks, was it?
Yeah. She wants me to get in shape, so she thinks beating me up is the way to do that.
Love it, man. Well, we appreciate your story. Thanks for coming on The American Dream. I hope our audience reaches out for that book, and we'll talk to you again soon, Grant. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Craig.
All right. More of the show coming up next.
So you just saw Grant Cardone, who is the ultimate illustration of the American dream. What makes this show unique is it's a national television show, but we highlight local marketplaces and the experts in those markets to show you what's going on in your own backyard. You've had your fingerprints all over how these things are going to look.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. You know, and local real estate markets are really important because that's why you need a broker. You know, these areas are so unique, both in appreciation, why you buy, the lifestyles that we like to accentuate on the show. And so we'd like to show you one of our favorite realtors right now.
Yeah, it's a national show. What do we know about all the different cities the show's airing in? So let's go check out what's happening in your city.
Welcome to the American Dream. It is so fun when we get to talk to Monika DeRoussel. She is an award-winning, top-producing realtor with RE/MAX Preferred Group. Welcome back to the show, Monika.
Thanks for having me back.
Now, you have brought us a great guest today. I want to introduce Katie Kramer. She is one of your preferred and wonderful clients, and it's going to be so fun to hear from her today. So great to have you on the show, Katie.
Thanks for having me.
So you guys recently just did an incredible transaction together again where you were able to sell and then purchase your dream home. Why don't you walk us through just some of the quick parts of the sale of your home?
Sure. So we were not expecting to move, so we were not ready. We quickly got in touch with Monika and figured out the quick things that we needed to do to get it listed within a week. We have 3 small kiddos at home, so getting it ready, we had to have a plan of action, and we took Monika's advice on pricing and what we needed to list it at to get it moved fast. We quickly got a dumpster to just declutter and get rid of the things around the house that we didn't need and kind of were just holding on to. We made huge piles of donations to clear out, and we went room by room just to declutter and have it walk-in ready for anyone that wanted to see it so that we could move fast on it. And it definitely, It was a long week.
But it was a blessing that they followed my advice on the pricing. The price did right. House was picture perfect for all the showings. First offer came in within 24 hours, and we ended up with 3 backup offers, which was a huge blessing because the first bio offer fell through. So we didn't have to go back through the drill of showing and suffering. We were ready with 3 other additional buyers ready to take over the first one that fell through.
Katie, you are living proof that it is always good to take the advice of your expert, which you did and had an incredible outcome. So now fast forward, she then helped you purchase your dream home. So this had an incredible reward. Why don't you share with us about that?
Absolutely. We were very picky buyers as far as what we wanted. We knew as our second home what we wanted and what we wanted to find in that, and definitely took Monica's advice as far as area. We both are from the city, so we knew what area we wanted to be in and we knew what we wanted. We quickly found a house that we fell in love with, and you know the emotional pull you get towards a house, and we actually didn't get it. We moved fast, but it had gotten into contract pretty fast.
It was listed for an hour, and by the time we walked through the house, it was sold. So it was devastating.
It was.
Telling them you just fell in love with a house that's no longer available. But we continued the process and keep looking.
Yeah, we found a second home, and we're moving through looking at that. But we took Monica's advice, putting in a backup offer on that first home. And I remember having a conversation, do backup offers actually work? Do they happen? And she said, we'll see, let's just wait it out. And we got the call that we were up and we had gotten the original house. And we love it, it's fantastic. There's not a thing we don't like about it.
So I always encourage people to put a backup offer. You have nothing to lose, because if something falls through with the first offer, you're the first in line before a house goes back on the market and is exposed to other buyers. So they were very skeptical. We were actually in the process of pursuing another home, going through the inspection on house number 2. When we got the call, first one was available, and it took us about 30 seconds to jump on it.
Yeah, Katie, can you tell us real quick what it is that you do day to day that helps you be able to pursue your American dream like you just accomplished?
Sure. So I am fortunate enough to be a consultant with a company called M Global, and I consult from my home. So that was one of the things we found in the home was an office space, so I wasn't working from my bedroom. And I get to work, and I have an organization of upwards to 90 women that work on my team, and I work from the comfort of my home with my kids at home and the flexibility of being there.
You really are an example of the American dream. I'm so glad that you shared your story. Monica, you're helping somebody else with their American dream right now as well, as they are selling their house and you're helping them find another dream home. Can you share real quick what your listing is?
Absolutely. I want to feature a brand new construction. So it's a brand new construction. Nobody ever lived in that house. It's a custom built property, 1663 Kings Court, listed for $625,000. So if you're looking for a custom built brand new home, give us a call and let's make it happen.
Oh, I love it. Katie, congratulations on your success and on your new home. So excited. Monica, thank you for helping more families have a piece of the American dream. Always great to talk to you. Great to have you both today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
You're watching The American Dream, and we'll be right back with more.
What we just saw was an incredible segment from a local agent professional. But what's cool right now is we're about to kick to a really cool segment in this property.
Yeah, I've hosted so many shoots so far for Lifestyles in the American Dream, but I've never seen a home like this before.
Isn't this the most amazing property you've ever seen?
I loved it, and driving up like the whole entire private driveway and up here is so exclusive.
It's, you know, it's set perfectly in the hillside, the winding roads, and it's like, I think about properties like this back when I first started in real estate, when it was so hard to get the big listings and the big properties with this much acreage. And it's really been a dream for me to not only list this property, but to get so much great feedback from people just viewing the property, because it's amazing. I mean, it's the grounds of this place are like nothing I've ever seen before.
That's what I saw the home. I'm obsessed with the home. I mean, it's this beautiful custom built.
custom built in 2008, actually.
Oh, wow, that's really new.
Isn't it? It's so new.
Yeah.
The sellers actually built it from the ground up. I mean, so much like blood, sweat, and tears went into this home. It looks like it could be placed right in Tuscany, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
like
perfect
Spanish
with the wine we had earlier.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to tell people we're having wine this early today?
No. 5 o'clock somewhere all the time, so.
Well, I love it, and I love the outside grounds of this area. Like, I don't even know if I would want to be inside.
When you live at the property, your lifestyle here is exterior. It's all exterior. The inside is an added bonus, but I mean, you've got so many different types of fruit trees on this property. You've got a winery that's just down the hill here and surrounds the property, a creek, a pond. I mean, the endless nights of sunsets that you can watch on this property is ridiculous.
Oh, it's amazing. I can imagine that this is like the perfect property for entertaining guests, family get-togethers, things like, I mean, that's like what I imagine when I picture myself living here.
It's kind of the dream. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be able to spend a lot of time with the sellers on this property and really talk to them about what makes this property so special, aside from the custom build. I mean, the wildlife that they sit and watch. The wife, you know, tends to her garden out back. I mean, with tons and tons of acreage on this property, your options to do multiple things on the actual land is endless. I mean, you really could do anything.
Yeah.
You know, there's an active beehive down there where the bees come and go from the koi pond out front. You've got the pool out back that just the vanishing edge with virtually nothing in the distance.
No. And it's a really nice mixture between like the backyard's totally done. It's, you know, the backyard, the kitchen outside, the vanishing edge pool. So it seems like it could be track style home and things like that, but it's not, because then it's like you have a whole entire another realm of this. Like, this is an onion of a house. It has multiple layers.
You just get peel back the layers, but you're 100% right. It's like an onion, really.
Yes.
You know, and you can always tell with houses like this, which is why this particular home is so near and dear to my heart, because you can tell the pride and ownership that the sellers have really put into this house with just maintaining and the landscaping that they've put in, and every little nook and cranny of this home and this property was thought of. I mean, they have dogs and they've fenced the entire 9 acres of property in, you know, and it's just the little things that when a buyer comes into this home, they want to know that everything's secure and that their pets are going to be okay.
Yes.
And if they have grandchildren coming to run around, that it's going to all be okay. So everything was really, really thought of. I mean, it's definitely a special property.
Yes. You know? Well, and I'm just imagining, you know, the caliber of buyer that's going to buy this property is going to love that they can come and shut themselves off from the hustle and the bustle and the busy life that we all live each day, and have their own private oasis, their own private estate here.
Absolutely.
In the hills of California. It's wonderful.
It's the most peaceful property you could ever imagine. It's like you're coming home and you're coming up to your own resort with nobody around, with the sunset, and you put the music on and you just go pick fruit off your fruit trees to make a margarita by the pool. I mean, it's everything at your fingertips, literally, but you're in the middle of nowhere, which is amazing.
In the middle of nowhere, so convenient because you are still close to town. Still get there somewhat fast, but
right.
Shut everything off. Enjoy your time with your family.
Yes, and I will say, if you are a drinker, the winery and the vineyard on this property produces over 2,000 pounds of wine, which is about 50 cases per year.
Oh my gosh.
Of award-winning wine. And
do you have any of that award-winning wine here?
We do. I think we should go open a bottle and go back by the pool and have a little sip of wine.
I'm saying, it's warm out here. Let's go get some wine. Let's go enjoy the pool.
There's so many people that have dreamed of owning a California winery,
And
or
hang out with Molly and Mia.
in a winery, with 3 vineyards and bottles of wine.
Yes, that is kind of your American dream.
It's a very specific American dream, but yeah, it was cool to actually see it, and I think it was great that we got to take people inside.
All right, so coming up next, what you don't know is I've been traveling all across the country, meeting the best realtors in every city to make sure when we talk about your backyard, you're hearing from somebody who's actually in the trenches, in the top 1% nationally, but experiencing what you have going on in your city. Next realtor piece.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
One of the main factors in determining a home's value is location, location, location.
So what factors make up a desirable location? Well, there's many factors, but a thriving business community is one of them. People know Warren County as the playground of Ohio. People come here as a travel destination to the city parks, tournaments for sporting events, recreational activities, and more. There's also many power players in the business world here, such as Procter & Gamble and Luxottica. But today, I'm here in Mason to talk to you about a startup program that Mason has called Tech Elevator. It's an innovative program that they use for startup businesses. The city has over 150,000 square feet of office space that they offer to these startup companies. They also work with them to connect them with partners who will continue to help them thrive. They're a sounding board, and they're also a second opinion that's completely confidential. There are 18 early stage companies in this program, and they are creating more than 450 new jobs and attracting $121 million in venture capital. So I would say Elevator Tech is pretty successful. But today I want to focus on just one of those companies. I'm outside their headquarters here, and we will be speaking with the CEO of the company Geneticist. He's creating a pretty exciting breakthrough, so let's go inside. So everyone, this is Peeyush Shrivastava, and he is one of the founders and the CEO of Geneticist. Thank you for meeting me today.
Thank you, Melissa.
So can you tell me, because I haven't mentioned anything about the business itself, tell me a little bit about the technology and just the bulk of the business.
Yeah, so we've been operating for 5 years now. We're a medical device company. We've developed the CardioFlex magnetocardiograph. We like to think of it as the opposite of an MRI.
Right.
So instead of emitting a magnetic field to evaluate the structure of the heart or any other organ, we measure the field that's naturally generated by the heart. So think EKG, we're the magnetic analog to what an EKG is.
So less invasive, really,
Far less invasive than an MRI.
Right.
You know, there's no clunky noise, there's no motors that involve electromagnetic induction or anything like that.
Right. So when someone comes in, how will this technology help just the general public? If someone comes into the emergency room and they have chest pains, what does this machine do?
Yeah, so if you have chest pain and you come to the emergency room, you're typically subjected to a very long and labor-intensive process.
Right.
Involves a lot of testing, so blood draws, nuclear stress tests, which involve radiation exposure. And you as a patient are left wondering, am I having a heart attack? And you're not getting a lot of intervention, and you're staying in the hospital for 18 hours oftentimes.
Right.
So our test would be a 90-second test to be able to detect normal or abnormal patterns of the magnetic field of the heart, something that could be used to safely and accurately discharge patients with chest pain.
That's amazing. So do you think that this will primarily just be used in emergency room situations, or do you think, like for me, I would think this would be a great preventative in like a yearly annual exam with your doctor?
Certainly. I mean, when we built the company and the underlying technology, our team's vision was always, well, what can we do to predict disease? What can we do to avoid hospitalizations altogether?
Right.
So for patients who are at risk of heart disease, doing regular screenings, out of the hospital, at your doctor's office, that's certainly part of our long-term vision. Right. What we're building towards.
Yeah, amazing. What exciting things are you planning, or how's the rest of your year planning out this year?
Yeah, this week's finished up a very exciting clinical trial at Ascension St. John Hospital in Detroit, Michigan. Tested over 100 patients. Now we're rolling out 3 more systems, more hospitals, evaluating and hoping to benefit more and more patients down the road. So
that's amazing. Yeah, a little at a time, right, as you grow.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me, one last question is, how was it working with the Mason Tech Elevator program?
Yeah, so the City of Mason has been very progressive on really partnering with companies in their early stages. So we moved here.
Which is a great space, by the way. It's
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
So they helped us source this space. They helped us invest in this space. Obviously, a part of that is subsidized rent, but just as important, introducing us to the right players in town. The Tech Elevator concept is putting like-minded entrepreneurs in different industries in the same
Right.
building.
Right.
It's powerful. It's good crosstalk.
Right. Yeah, I know Mark Cuban has invested in you. You have quite a few power players behind you. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And then yes, I do have a new featured listing that I'd like to tell you about. It is actually here in Mason as well. It's 2791 Harvey Road, and it's a unique property because it's actually on 10 acres, but it's separated into 2 separate 5-acre parcels. There's a house on one, so you have the options maybe of using it as an investment and building on the other one. There's also a 30 by 80 foot pole barn. There's another barn, and it's completely private. It's close to highway access and just a great space, and I don't think it'll last long. Back to the studio.
So according to Gallup, for the last 5 years in a row, Americans have named this their #1 choice of investment for creating wealth for them and their families. Give up already? Real estate. 34% of Americans view real estate as the best investment out there, followed by the stock market, gold, and in other savings accounts. Which makes sense because if you take a look at the actual statistics, right now the median net worth for someone who owns a home is $231,000. Compare that to someone who rents and it's only $5,200. That means someone who owns a home has over 44 times the net worth as someone who rents. Which kind of reminds me of the ancient Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. So if you're someone who's been thinking about buying a home over the last 5 or 6 years with this great run-up in appreciation that we've had, the second best time is right now because it looks like prices are going to continue to go up. So get in contact with your local mortgage professional today, get pre-approved so you can start planting the seeds for wealth creation for you and your family. This has been Ryan Kiefer with Prime Lending and your Mortgage Minute.
Welcome back, everyone. We're in week number 3 of what a title company is and why you need one. What are the different types of liens that you could be affected by? Remember this stat, 1 out of 4 properties have some type of title defect on it. Those defects could be child support liens against the seller of the property, federal tax liens, state tax liens, and certified judgment liens. These are just some of the liens that you are depending on the title company not only to find, but to make sure it is paid off in full. Again, liens that are not paid off become your problem later. I'm Ken Martin with Priority National Title, and that is your title tip of the week.
So that's close the show. What should we do, man? Should we be like casual or should we be pumped up?
I think we should be both casual and pumped up.
All right. Well, we just finished a big show. What you learned today is the American dream is a mindset, not a circumstance. And as far as our show, it's raw, it's real, it's authentic. We're not owned by a network. We're commercial free. We're unscripted. We just brought the best producer in the space to the game.
I think we did great, man. I mean, the American dream is incredible, and I think it was Thomas Jefferson or he was kind of.